Hi everyone, it's Alice at Life Force Trauma Healing. Today I thought I'd do a practical session with you about using the emotional freedom technique to help release anxiety. Fear is a good feeling for us. It helps us know if we're in danger so that we can protect ourselves. There's nothing wrong with fear. But if we're anxious all the time, if we're 5 out of 10 anxious all the time, what that means is we won't feel fear so clearly when we need to. So it's a really good idea to be releasing and reducing anxiety. Often anxiety is when we're making negative predictions of the future, okay? So I've got one today. I'm driving to Devon later. It's very windy out there. I'm a bit worried about that. So I'm thinking that thought and I notice, where do I feel some tension in my body when I think that thought? Where do I feel that anxious feeling? So I'm feeling it in my stomach, okay? How strong out of 10? 5 out of 10. What colour is it? Blue. Okay, so you just think like that. Focus on your anxiety in your body. Tap the edge of your hand here. Okay, could be either side, doesn't matter. And you say this statement, a statement like this: even though I have this blue anxiety in my stomach, when I think about driving to Devon later in this strong wind. Okay, so you say the problem, then you say an acceptance statement. I love and accept myself anyway. I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Now your head might argue against that, and you're coming in, no you don't, blah, 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 blah. So then you say something like, even though I've got this blue anxious feeling in my stomach, I wonder what it would be like to love and accept myself anyway. One day maybe. You can even add all that in, and normally that will get past the inner critic there. Okay, so do that once or 3 times, it doesn't matter really. Then you just tap on some other points where you focus your awareness on where you feel the anxiety in your body. This anxious blue feeling in my stomach. This anxious blue feeling. This anxious blue feeling. You can rest the other hand on the place you feel the feeling. This anxiety in my stomach. This blue anxiety. Anxious when I think about driving to Devon later. This anxious fantasy about the future. See, I laugh, that's a release there, the anxiety's gone down. It's just a fantasy, I don't know if it's going to be windy when I drive down it, it's just windy now. All this anxiety under the arm, anxiety in my stomach, this blue anxiety. When I think about driving to Devon, so you can mention a thought, or just keep saying where you feel it in the body, in the colour and the shape, or what it feels like. All this anxiety in my stomach, all this anxiety when I think about driving to Devon. Big breath in and out. Okay, cool. So now when I think about driving later, it was a 5 out of 10. 10 would be the worst ever. Panic attack. 0 is just neutral and calm. Driving later, it might be really windy. 2, what colour is it now? And maybe just the thought of a colour pops in your head that, your inner voice says blue, then just go with that colour. Or you might see the colour, or just guess, or you don't have to, just where do you feel it in your body? So even though I've still got some of this anxiety in my stomach, when I think about going to Devon later, I love and accept myself anyway, or I wonder what it would be like to love and accept myself anyway, one day. All this remaining anxiety when I think about driving to Devon, all this remaining anxiety in my stomach, all this negative prediction of the future, all this fear in my solar plexus and stomach, all this fear. Now you see I keep laughing around here, so sometimes there's a certain point that works really well for you and you can tap on much longer, when you feel anxious. All this anxiety, all this anxiety, all this anxiety in my stomach, all this anxiety, all this anxiety when I think about driving to Devon later in the strong wind. This anxious thought, this anxious thought. So with this, you can just tap along, focus on an anxiety of your own. If there's some left, do another round, okay? And, you can get rid of anxiety with this technique. It's amazing. If you want to know more, I'm doing a training in self-help, use of EFT, and also how to be a practitioner. It's a 3-day training near Greenwich in July 17th and 19th, off the top of my head. There'll be a link above or below this video, so check it out and hope to see you there. Take care.